Here with the other side of the story, one of the people who voted for and supports building a new jail in Beaufort County, the Vice Chairman of the Beaufort County Commissioners, Al Clem. Good morning, Al. How are you?
Good morning. How
nice
you doing,
to see you. Thanks for coming over this morning.
Good to see you, sir.
All right. Give us a little background. The county commissioners felt that a new jail was needed. Why?
Well, let's go ahead and specify what it is first.
Okay.
First of all, we're not building just a jail. We're building a Beaufort County Safety Center, which includes a law enforcement center. It includes a county jail. It includes emergency management. It includes 911 communications. It includes a on-site evidence storage building for archive evidence, which we don't have room for. And it also includes a vehicle impound, and it's being built on a site where we have lots of expansion. One of the things I heard in your program earlier was talking about the cost of the facility. The cost of the facility was stated as being $30 million.
That's the number that's been thrown around the media. Is that incorrect?
I got some documentation here concerning the cost now and the cost what it was when it was brought up in 2005. The need of the jail has to do with inadequate condition, safety, space, and this includes not just the jail, it includes the sheriff's office. You get into the jail, you have issues like the fingerprinting for your handgun carry is done there, and the inmates and the general public is not even separated in that facility, which is a complete no-no nowadays. So if you go in there, they'll have processing inmates right there with you. And if you go any modern facility, you don't see that. You go to the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office, and you're a handicapped person, and you come from out of the county, and you wheel up there in your wheelchair, you're going to have to knock on the door because they don't have a handicap entrance. Once you get into the facility and you have to go to the bathroom, first of all, they don't have a public restroom, but they don't have a handicap restroom either. And one of the things I strongly believe in is that Beaufort County should have first-class facilities, whether it be a jail, whether it be law enforcement, whether it be public schools, community college, the face of Beaufort County.
What was you never got to the actual cost? You said the $30 million is incorrect. What is the actual number?
Okay. First of all, Mosley Architects is designing it, plus we hired a construction manager at risk, MB Khan. MB Khan, once all the engineering is done, and we're approaching the 75% of the design phase, once that's done, we work with the construction manager at risk to go hit a target price. Once that target price is achieved, that's the guaranteed cost of the facility. If it goes over that cost, they pay for it. In relation to where it's at now, it's $22,787.100. And that is a cost.
22,000?
$22 million.
$22 million.
I apologize.
Yeah, okay.
$22,787,100.
All right.
Thousand. And that also includes $2 million of improvements to the courthouse. Improvements are needed to the courthouse in relation to have what's called a salary port, so you're able to bring prisoners in securely, which we do not have. If you have prisoners come in from out of county and be processed in there, they're not brought into, inmates or potential prisoners.
All right, let me throw out a few of the anti-arguments that Keith brought up yesterday and let you respond to these, having heard your kind of opening salvo there. The question about the size of the jail, not having the bathrooms, not being in state code. One of the issues that he brought up yesterday is, if you build a house in 1980, it's out of code today. Well, but you're not going to tear down the house and build a new house. So the question is whether or not, the issue of it being out of code and not having the handicapped bathrooms and all that, if there's actually a requirement by the state or the federal government to do something about that. And now chew on that a second, and I'll throw out the other one, which is this. the process seems to be what's bothering some of the folks on the side that's trying to stop this. They say that, you know, if you're going to spend that amount of money, whether it's 22 million or 30 million, that it would be unconstitutional, is the word they're using, to do that without taking it to the voters for a referendum. So now, those are the two huge arguments that I heard yesterday. Respond to those, if you would.
What was the first one?
Well, the issue of the argument to build a new jail is that it's out of code, and the issue of, well, but it's grandfathered in. Is there some state or federal agency making you do this?
In relation to being out of code, it is grandfathered under the existing jail standards that go way back, way before 1990. The state established construction standards for new jails back in 1990, and they modified them to some degree. Of a big concern to the citizens of the county for a long time is risk of the facility, safety, both for the inmates and for the guards. We had a situation last year where we had an electrical failure that could have involved two phases shortened together in 480 volts in a major manner. It could have caused an incident that might have had a lot of smoke. That facility does not have a smoke evacuation system within it. The code written back, the existing standards written back then say it doesn't, is not needed. The new standards say it is. The judge, in citing his court order, which I have here, and let me see if I can get that sucker out.
Well, just paraphrase it, because we're going to be limited on time.
Yeah,
So.
what it basically says is that we continue along and continue to build the facility, is basically what the court order says. And cited in there specifically is the smoke evacuation system, the danger of the smoke evacuation, not having a smoke evacuation system. A contractor looked at it, said it'd be very hard to put in there, but that's just one of many, many things.
Right. Let's get to the other big issue, which is the question of why not take, when you're going to spend this much money and you're going to have to go out, I guess you're going to have to go out and borrow it. The question is whether or not you should have taken this to the voters in a referendum. How do you respond to that?
I'll respond to it in two ways. One, the same group of people that wants the referendum now opposed the referendum when we were building the schools, the $32 million school bond. That's first of all, number one. Two, when we got into a situation where we had that major incident, and this goes way back to the information I'm going to leave you that you can look at it, to 2005, which was the last time we looked at building a facility. At that time, the cost was $13 million. The cost has increased 70% since then. At that occurrence, there was a lot of opposition to it too. The USDA came in, they had their public hearing, the USDA went away with their financing. Same thing happened this time. Sometimes, in my opinion, an elected official has to make a decision that's best for the citizens. And sometimes that decision is not going to be very popular. And in this case, by law, we're not required to have it in relation to, depending on what sort of financing you seek. Due to the severity of the situation and the problems in the past, yes, we choose not to have one. We choose to go forward. Now, a recent poll was done by the Daily News in relation to support for this facility. Very rarely is a jail law enforcement center ever built through a referendum. There's a reason for this. People simply won't vote for them. They will not vote for the facility. And in some cases at this point, with the negativity and the economy and everything that's going through society now, a lot of people think it'd be hard to get a school bond through. Now, we have infrastructure needs, we have school needs, we're just like Pitt County.
Well, let me just, again, I come at this with no opinion, and I don't live in Beaufort County, don't really have a dog in the fight, but let me just kind of play devil's advocate with you. If you've got a need to do something, and it's going to be taxpayers paying it back, and you're saying that the taxpayers would not likely agree to move forward with this, it sounds like political suicide. But I know you're not running again. I mean, explain that to me on why, if you're pretty sure the voters don't want it, and they're going to have to pay for it. Explain that a little bit.
Let me explain the poll. The poll turned out in the Daily News, 40% of the population was for it. 18% said they support it, but later, due to the financial condition of the county. And the other 32%, I guess, said, or 42% said don't build it, which is more positive than I thought it was actually going to be perfectly honest. Honest with you, Henry. In relation to political suicide, well, as an elected official, you can either have courage, you cannot have courage. I mean, in some cases, you look at something and you look at the situation and you look at what's going on with it, and you got to do the right thing. And in this case, the right thing is to build the facility.
Okay.
Beaufort County for the citizens, and
and just to kind of wrap it up. So your sense is that the situation with the jail is so desperate.
That's my opinion.
That you have to.
It's just not just the jail. It's the sheriff's office.
Right.
It's the fact that we have evidence storage out there in metal storage buildings like you see on the highways. It's the fact that we don't even have a vehicle impound. It's just that Beaufort County is so far in the past with this infrastructure. We got to move forward.
Right.
We got to move forward.
So the idea, in your opinion, is that as an elected official, you were put there to make tough decisions. You've made this tough decision.
Yeah.
You're standing by it, and you want to move forward with building the jail.
Yeah, and when we recently built the Allied Health Building out at Community College, there was no referendum because there wasn't 10 people standing up there.
But how much? I mean,
protesting.
it probably wasn't $22 million either.
No, it was 12 million, something
Yeah.
like that.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's an interesting debate, and
It's interesting.
Where does it go from here? Now, one of the things that Keith said yesterday is that the Local Government Commission has now come out and said that the county has gone about this in the wrong way.
No, they did not say that.
Okay.
I was at the meeting. They did
Okay.
not. He was not at the meeting. I don't even know how he could say that.
Well, I may have misstated that, but tell me your opinion of what their finding was.
Basically, they said in relation to it, and I was there, and the chairman was there, and Commissioner Richardson was there, believe it or not, and Commissioner Brin was there. They both oppose it. We support it. And basically, what they said was, we're so close to the election, just let the election be the deciding point, and that would just basically end up being the referendum.
Right.
Based on who wins. And at that point,
And that's probably what's going to happen,
and
right?
at that point, we will go forward. And as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. And
So you're at this point, it's been so controversial and so much in the media and
Yeah.
created such interest in Beaufort County. You're saying let the voters decide who they want making these decisions, and they get a chance to do that in November.
that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And what I want to do is leave you a bunch of information for your own personal reading. And included in that information for you is I have a photo tour of the jail,
Okay.
and I have a photo tour of the sheriff's office.
Okay.
So you can get some
Right.
idea.
Al, it's great to see you, and I appreciate you coming over
Yes,
this morning.
sir.
We'll follow this with interest, and I appreciate your
Well, it's interesting. It's a very tough situation. It's a situation that needs to be addressed. Recently, when we had that incident in the jail, we ended up spending $720,000, and it just scared everybody.
Al Clem, Vice Chairman of the Beaufort County Commission. Thanks, sir.
Yes.